Special meeting of the Malden School Committee. Today is Thursday, July 1st, 2021. The time is 6:04 p.m. Pursuant to Chapter 20 of the Acts of 2021, suspending certain provisions of the Open Meeting Law, Mass General Law, Chapter 38, Section 18. This meeting of the Malden School Committee is being conducted via remote participation. All effort will be made to permit public attendance of this meeting via remote access by internet, telephone, and by public broadcast of the meeting by MATV, now known as Urban Media Arts, UMA, on public access television channels. Public access will also be provided by posting draft minutes and/or a transcript, recording, or record of the meeting on the City of Malden website at cityofmalden.org as soon as practicable after the meeting. So at this time, I would ask everyone to first pledge allegiance to our flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please remain standing for a moment of silence in honor of all those who have fought for our country and continue to do so around the world today. Thank you. We will now have our clerk call the roll.
Mayor Christensen,
Here.
Mr. Drummy,
Here.
Mr. Froyo,
Yeah.
Mr. Gray,
Here.
Mr. Iavino,
Here.
Ms. Luong,
Here.
Mr. McCarthy,
Here.
Ms. Spatafora,
Here.
Mr. Waldeck,
Here.
Superintendent Noriega Murphy.
Here.
We have a quorum.
All right, so we have a quorum sufficient to conduct business. Now we get to one of the most important aspects of our meeting, and that is translation services. So once again, I want to reiterate my support and gratitude to all of you who have insisted, no matter when we meet, we have translation services provided. So hats off to you all. So over to Danielle to take it from here.
Thank you, Mayor Gary. Good evening, everyone. It's a pleasure to be here again to provide interpretation in 7 languages tonight. We will do our traditional introduction to explain in each of the languages how to access the language channels on Zoom. So English-speaking folks, y'all can sit tight. We'll be with you in a moment. I will start with Arabic. السلام عليكم، مساء الخير. اليوم عندنا ترجمة باللغة العربية. بعد أن ننتهي من هذه المقدمة سيظهر على شاشتكم رمز الكرة الأرضية. اضغط على هذه الكرة ثم اختر اللغة العربية ثم اضغط على كلمة الموافقة أو تم. إذا كنت على هاتف محمول عليك الضغط على 3 نقط لرؤية المزيد من الخيارات ثم اختيار ترجمة للغات ثم اللغة العربية ثم تم. Shukran jazilan. I will now pass it to Spanish.
Buenas noches y bienvenidos a la reunión del comité escolar. Si usted desea escuchar la presentación de hoy en español, simplemente ubícase al fondo de su pantalla en un momentico cuando encendemos la función de interpretación y ahí puede hacer clic en el globito. De allá vas a escoger Spanish. Si se está conectando tras un celular, puede empujar los 3 punticos en la pantalla y de ahí igualmente escoger Spanish y cuando termina hacer clic en Done. Si tiene cualquier problema, por favor, déjanos saber tras el chat y vamos a estar pendiente. Gracias y I will pass it now to Portuguese.
Olá, boa noite. Meu nome é Raíssa, eu sou intérprete de português hoje à noite. A gente está oferecendo interpretação em português e daqui a pouco a gente vai ligar a função de interpretação. Se você estiver participando através de um telefone celular, você vai ver 3 pontinhos na parte de baixo da sua tela. Por favor, escolhe português, depois escolhe done ou finalizado. Se você estiver participando de um computador, você vai ver um globo na parte de baixo da sua tela e, por favor, escolhe português de novo. E qualquer dúvida pode colocar no chat. Obrigada. I will now pass it to Haitian Creole.
Bonsoir, nous pas moi c'est Smiline et m'a traduit pour nous jeudi en créole. Dès que nous activons l'interprétation, tant pis cliquez sur globe là. Après ça, on va choisir créole ou bien Haitian Creole et puis pour qu'attendez. Dès que vous finissez, si que vous sur un téléphone, tant pis cliquez 3 petits points et puis cliquez language interpretation ou bien cliquez langue interprétation. Là, après ça, on va peser langue créole là, et puis on va écrire fini. I will now pass it on to Vietnamese.
Good evening. Xin chào quý vị. Tên tôi là Linh. Tôi là người phiên dịch tiếng Việt của Rochester Languages cho quý vị hôm nay. Một khi chúng tôi đã kích hoạt tính năng phiên dịch, xin vui lòng bấm vào biểu tượng quả địa cầu trên màn hình và chọn ngôn ngữ là tiếng Việt, Vietnamese để được nghe phiên dịch trực tiếp. Nếu quý vị đang dùng điện thoại thông minh, smartphone, xin bấm vào 3 dấu chấm, rồi chọn ngôn ngữ phiên dịch, Language Interpretation, rồi sau đó chọn tiếng Việt, Vietnamese, và sau đó là xong, done. Xin cảm ơn quý vị. Thank you, and now I pass it on to Wei Mandarin.
Good evening, I'm your Mandarin interpreter Wei. 大家好，我是您的普通话同传我叫李伟感谢你今天加入我们的会议。如果你需要同声传译的话呢，请点击屏幕底部的地球仪标记，然后选择中文就是 Mandarin 选项进入翻译频道。如果你用手机或者是平板电脑的话呢，你先看到有一个3个点，点了3个点呢，有一个更多的选项，然后呢看到有个就是中文 Mandarin 的选项，你就点进去就可以听我的翻译。好，祝大家今天晚上都愉快。Okay, now I'm gonna hand over to Maple Cantonese.
Thank you. Hi， 大家好，我係今晚大家嘅廣東話翻譯，我叫做 Maple。咁一陣間我哋會開啟呢個翻譯嘅功能啦。咁大家請喺屏幕嘅下方選擇呢個地球儀嘅標誌，並且點擊入去選擇 Cantonese 廣東話呢個服務，就可以聽到我嘅全程嘅同聲傳譯。如果你係用手機或者平板電腦上網咧，請你喺下方尋找3個點寫住更多，然後都係入去使用呢個語言嘅選擇，都係選擇 Cantonese 嘅呢個語言功能嘅。咁一陣間見啦。Thank you. I'll pass it back to Daniel.
Thank you, Maple. Interpreters, just a reminder to make sure your microphone is on and that you are unmuted. And Adam, you can go ahead and put us on the channels.
All right, they are active.
All right, very good. And if I could just remind the members that when we are speaking, to speak slow, so there is enough time for the translation to take place appropriately. So with that being said, we're gathered here this evening to take up the appointment of Assistant Superintendent for Curriculum and Instruction, as well as the appointment of Assistant Superintendent of Diversity, Equity, and Engagement, followed by a motion to go into executive session, and then we will move adjournment. Now, we can't start any of this without welcoming our new school superintendent, Lihia Noriega Murphy. So I would now like to go to her for a quick opening statement and to let us know how her first day went in the district. As I was showing you beforehand, and I'll show you again, this is what truly impressed me, was her being at the Malden Public Library for the summer reading celebration. Now, this wasn't even planned. I had a meeting with her this afternoon, and I said, I'm heading over there after our meeting. And she, without hesitation, said, let me join you. And there she was, making some great connections with our students and their families and the Malden Public Library staff. So, Superintendent, welcome. And we'll now go to you for opening remarks and then to introduce these two items on our agenda.
Thank you. And first of all, thank you for giving me the opportunity to be the superintendent of the Malden Public Schools. Today was an outstanding day. I was able to meet so many wonderful people, central office, actually meet the mayor in person. So it was so exciting to see people in person and these students. It is just amazing. And starting tomorrow, I am going to spend time in different schools. So my goal is always to start the day at least in one or two schools. And so tomorrow is going to be my first tour of listening and engaging in conversations with our amazing school leaders. So you will see me in the schools. I don't want them to come to me. I want to go to them. As you know, the vision that I have is communication and transparency, building teams. So you will see me in the, now I'm going to start sending you more emails. So please be open for that amazing cup of coffee with all the amazing new businesses that you have in there. I was sharing with everybody today that I might be gaining weight because you have outstanding businesses, and Malden has been transformed so much since I last went there to DESI. It's outstanding. So great job. And I can't wait to engage with the school leaders and also with you for the new chapter. And tonight, I am nominating, or I'm looking for your approval for two amazing people for two wonderful positions that we actually need. And that is the Assistant Superintendent of Curriculum and Instruction, Emily Peña. You can see, and my apologies for the technology today and yesterday with sharing files, but she has a great background, and I do not know if she is in here or not, because I tried to invite them for another meeting, but I think they went to the public meeting. So they
Mr. Waldeck?
Superintendent, both Emelise and Larissa are here. So if you'd like them to join as panelists, we can have them do that.
You want to do one at a time, Superintendent?
Yes, that would be great. So Emily Peña comes with a great background, as you saw in her resume. She's trilingual, speaks English, Spanish, and sign language. She has experience coordinating support for principals and school leaders working closely with DESI. She has a great background on understanding how groups are created and also getting people involved in doing the work. The focus is going to be on the curriculum instruction, as we are going to start looking into our collaboration, our literacy program, which we have to start, we already started talking about that, and also to look at how do we get equal access to our students, looking at our most students who need the most support, and at the same time looking at the practices where our curriculum will reflect our students' backgrounds. So Emily is there. I don't know if you want her to speak or not.
Please. Yep, we'd like that. Welcome.
Yes, hello everyone. First, I want to just start by saying thank you, Mr. Christensen. Thank you, school committee members. Thank you, Dr. Noriega, for this amazing opportunity to engage in this important work of ensuring Malden Public School students have access to quality and engaging instruction, and to hold myself and really ourselves accountable by measuring this high quality instruction in terms of student outcomes. Depending how much time I have a couple other comments I would like to make, but I'm not sure.
Please.
Okay.
Go right ahead.
So I just wanted to also add that this work of curriculum instruction and assessment is personally meaningful to me as someone who migrated to the United States at the age of 7 in the late 70s, when biculturalism and bilingualism were not seen as valuable attributes. Rather, it was the melting pot philosophy that was the standard. I was really drawn to this position and work because of the rich cultural linguistic diversity in Malden, as evident by these 7 amazing interpreters that we have just translating for this meeting. And then I wanted to add that in contrast to my experience arriving in the US, I believe all learners' abilities and attributes should be embraced and leveraged to create learning environments where really representation and inclusion are truly embraced and normalized. I also consider myself a lifelong learner. I will start by listening, observing, and understanding the context of Malden Public Schools. This is an important part of my entry, which would be to identify what is working, what doesn't work, and where are there opportunities to build on? Where do those opportunities exist? And this data that is gathered will be the foundation for establishing priorities for the next 3 to 5 years, followed by a plan that is inclusive of all stakeholders' voices, so families and caregivers, teachers, school leaders, and district leaders. I also want to say that while I am a learner, I do bring 25 plus years of experience working in education, and I am ready to share lessons that I have learned. I have vast experience working as a district leader, national educational consultant, school level administrator, and also as a teacher. And I really am looking forward to aligning my experience with the strengths and the needs of Malden Public Schools. I wanted to just add that I believe that next year, school year 21-22, will really be a first in the nation as we prepare to welcome students back in person from the pandemic, and we'll be able to determine the real impact that the pandemic has had on learning. It will be important to assess learning in comparison to grade level standards, starting with literacy and numeracy. And this is not to ignore science and history. They're very important content areas, but just to start manageable, starting with literacy and numeracy. And we need to analyze this data and really determine priorities for closing what I'm calling the pandemic gap. And I would love that in collaboration with school and district leaders, that we set a plan in motion to ensure that students are back on track, meeting or exceeding grade level standards. And while I do wholeheartedly believe that academics are important, I believe the social and emotional well-being of students is equally important, and we have to be very mindful and purposeful on how we support our students re-engaging in school buildings. I also really believe that most of us here, I have 3 teenagers at home that were just thrust into working remotely and still being paraprofessionals and teachers for our own children, that we know firsthand, right? The impact that this remote isolation has had on students. So the social and emotional well-being is going to be really important. I want to just end by saying how much I truly value and the trust that Malden Public Schools, families, and caregivers give to us, and really commit to strengthening that sense of community between partners, between schools, families, and caregivers. And I just want to say, Dr. Noriega, school committee, thank you for this opportunity. I am really looking forward to serving Malden Public Schools.
There you have it. I don't know if there's going to be any questions on you. So let's find out. Any questions of this nominee? Any motions to approve the appointment? Mr. Weldy.
We'll be happy to make a motion to approve.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Weldy, seconded by Mr. Iavino. Any last minute questions? Hearing none, clerk will call the roll.
Mr. Drummy,
Yes.
Mr. Fryer,
Yes.
Mr. Gray,
Yes.
Mr. Iavino,
Yes.
Ms. Luong,
Yes.
Mr. McCarthy,
Yes.
Ms. Pedafora,
Yes.
Mr. Waldeck,
Yes.
Mayor Christensen.
Yes, that carries unanimously. Welcome aboard.
Welcome.
All right, back to you, Superintendent.
Thank you for that, members of the committee, school committee. Thank you for that. Emilis, bienvenida, welcome. Thank you, I'm so happy. The second nominee that I have is on a standing school leader. I have the opportunity to work with her in different levels at different times in our careers. Her name is Larissa Dorothy, and she is the person that I would love to have as an assistant superintendent of diversity, equity, and engagement. She has done this work multiple times in different lenses. She gets and has the understanding of how students feel, how parents, teachers, and school leaders. She has created one of the models at Boston Public Schools in a way on how principals can engage in conversations about breaking our, how can I say, our thinking and practices on disrupting the anti-racist practices that we face. She has been able to navigate in difficult conversations, very challenging conversations when you are asking people to change practices, but actually not just changing, believing that actually is the right thing to do and engaging students, families, teachers, and school leaders in the conversation at the same level. So Larissa, if you are on, please, I would like to welcome you to present to the members of the school committee.
Good evening. Thank you so much, Dr. Noriega Murphy. And I echo Ms. Pena's remarks of thanking the committee and Mayor Christensen. It's a pleasure to be with you tonight, and that warm welcome. Lahia kind of went through everything. You stole my thunder. But I sit before you a second generation teacher, growing up relatively privileged, and have committed my life, and my passion is for us to make sure that what I received as a child growing up in the suburbs, as the daughter of two teachers, that all of our students get what they need to be successful, and that partnership with families is so critical to that work. What we really learned and what set my previous role up for success during the pandemic, and it's sort of strange to say that, but we did so much work pre-pandemic in building relationships with families, authentic partnerships where it was not just a two-way street, but I call it a three-way street, because we were talking with each other back and forth, but also really deep partnership to make sure that our families and our students are not just seen and heard, but are collaborators in our work together. And that's how we were able to move forward and reform my school. And I've shared a lot of that work. I've coached other leaders. I have a cohort of some emerging leaders that I'm coaching now through BU. And this is part of my life's work of working with schools, school communities. I'm going to slow down and acknowledge I'm probably talking really fast. So I'm going to pause for a minute. Sorry about that. I haven't been on Zoom for a while. I have to temper myself a little here. But it's critical to me that the work is done in collaboration. The work has to be done. We have to move forward. I love what Ms. Pena said about moving from a melting pot to really thinking more about what we bring to the table, about leveraging what we learned in the pandemic about the strengths of our families and our students, and making sure that we find some joy in that work together. We move forward, identifying what's working for us, what do we want to change, making sure that everyone is heard. And you can be sure, if I am so fortunate to be approved tonight, that you'll find me in those communities. If there's a partnership that is not coming to the table, I'm going to come to you, because that's what's really important. We recognize that sometimes during the process of this work, people become disengaged. And I really see this role as an opportunity to ensure that all of those businesses that Dr. Noriega Murphy talked about before, and all of the new businesses or the new families or families who have become disengaged are back at the table, and that our students are really able to be seen, heard, and collaborate in the work moving forward as you continue to move the district through the cultural responsiveness work.
Very good. Questions of the committee? Mr. Gray, and then we'll go to Mr. Weldy, and then Ms. Spatafora.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. This is more of a technical question for Dr. Noriega concerning the position. I just need a little bit of clarification. Is Professor Doherty going to be filling two slots, two different slots? I'm not sure I understand how that's supposed to work. If you could clarify that, please, or somebody, anybody, thanks.
Superintendent?
No problem at all. So there were two positions that you approved before that were the community engagement manager and the other one, diversity, equity, and inclusion coordinator. Those positions are critical. The roles are critical. Let me go back. The work is critical, but it's hard to do it when you are a manager and also a coordinator. So by looking at getting an assistant superintendent in order to really make changes in our schools, I needed somebody who can be part of the conversations at a higher level. They are actually together. So when you look at community engagement, that's when we look at the diversity, we look at inclusion and the equity. So to me, it makes sense, a lot of sense to have one position that embraces everything. One of the things that Ms. Larissa Doherty did not talk about is her work in breaking some of the conversations about inclusion, about the how diversity has to be a conversation. We have to talk to students, we have to talk to parents, and also how that is connected with the curriculum and instruction, how we can break those barriers where we don't talk about race, and we do have to talk about race. And that's the work that she has been doing. So I believe in my heart, with my 26 years of experience, that this position is critical. Two positions merge, community engagement, diversity and equity in one position with a person that can have a voice and would be able to work very closely with all school leaders and work in the schools.
Okay, Mr. Gray.
Just one clarification. This is, I'm sorry if I misspoke, but my question was a little more technical. For Ms. Doherty, we're going to be approving her as an assistant superintendent slot, not as the two other slots combined.
That is correct.
Oh, that's perfect. Thank you. That's it. That's all.
All right, very good. And Superintendent, or maybe Mr. Weldy or Ms. Spatafora can respond. I think the impact, there was no impact to the budget, right?
No, at all.
That's fine.
Because the positions combined, Mr. Gray, I think we actually probably pick up a few dollars from the merger of the two vacancies. So let me go to Mr. Weldy and then over to Ms. Spatafora.
Sure. I actually, and thank you, Mr. Chairman. I actually wanted to take the opportunity to commend, I think, Superintendent Noriega. Before you even started, I think you're already looking and making innovative decisions. And I was particularly excited about this one, mostly because, through Jen and the hard work that Ms. Spatafora did through the budget process with Ms. Mertz, Assistant Superintendent Mertz, we were able to create these two new positions. I had some hesitancy only because they were funded at a level that made me as an educator nervous that what we would be getting is a practitioner or a theorist, someone, because they weren't funded to the level I think that you would get an experienced school leader or even an experienced educator. And with work like family and community engagement and with work like diversity, equity, inclusion, we have all the pieces in place in the city, right? We have our new family liaisons across the district. We have the new DEI officer for the city, Bibios La Rochelle. We have a lot of these really good pieces in play. And I think what we're missing is the conduit in the school system to put it all together. And I think in creating this position, I was particularly thrilled that you found a very experienced and accomplished school leader to do that, because those were they're the practitioners, the ones who deal with families, who do the CRT work in our buildings, and can now actually, I think, rather than thinking about theory and how they can apply it, they've got experience, right? So Larissa is going to be able to hit the ground running when it comes to a lot of this work, both Larissa and Annalise. And I think I'm excited to vote for both of these nominees tonight, but I appreciate what you did in creating this position, because I think it will benefit not just our students and staff, but I think our overall leadership structure in the district. So thank you.
Very good. And I'm going to go to Ms. Spatafora now. It should be worth pointing out that she has been involved since the inception of the superintendent introducing this idea. So she's been working alongside Budget Director Tony Mertz, and that's another reason why we are here tonight. So I do want to publicly thank her for her work on this. So Ms. Spatafora.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I really don't have a question, to be quite frank. I just wanted to comment on when looking over your resume, Larissa, or Mr. Hardy, I just want to say how I was thrilled. Oops, I hope I didn't just lose you. Oh,
nope.
My computer's doing funny things. How thrilled I was to see, and my dogs are being loud, your background in music education, because I really think, at least personally, in a position like this, music is such a great way to communicate with people that might not necessarily speak the same language. So to have somebody that's going to be engaging with students and parents that may not speak the same language, but yet have that background in music, I think it's a telltale sign that you're going to hit the ground running. So I'm very, very excited. And again, when it comes time for our vote, I am 100% there.
Great, very good. Anybody else? If not, we'll entertain a motion to approve. Motion by Ms. Spatafora, seconded by Ms. Luong. Any last minute questions? Superintendent, I can now see why you were so passionate about these two nominees. So let's get to it. Clerk will call the roll.
Mr. Drummy,
Yes.
Mr. Froyo,
Yes.
Mr. Gray,
Yes.
Mr. Ivina,
Yes.
Ms. Luong,
Yes.
Mr. McCarthy,
Yes.
Ms. Spatafora,
Yes.
Mr. Waldi,
Yes.
Mayor Christensen.
Yes. So that carries unanimously. Welcome aboard to you both.
Thank you so very much for approving the two nominees, and I'm looking forward to continue the work. Yes, on day 2 tomorrow. Yes.
All right, very good. All right, everybody. So now we're down to item number 4, which is executive session. So let me begin by saying the school committee wants to clarify that at its June 7th, 2021 meeting, we entered executive session under Purpose 2 for non-union contracts. Assistant Superintendent Kelly Chase, Business Manager Tony Mertz, and Superintendent-elect Noriega Murphy, non-union contract negotiations, Supervisor of Attendance, and Superintendent Salary Review. And then Purpose 3 for Public Records Litigation, Collective Bargaining Units A, B, C, SEIU negotiations, SEIU grievance and pending litigation, McGuire versus School Committee, because an open meeting would have a detrimental effect on the bargaining or litigation position of the public body, and the chair so declares. So what I'd be asking everyone right now is a motion to enter into executive session for the June 7th meeting.
Motion.
Motion by Mr. Ivino, seconded by
Second.
Ms. Luong. I think I got Ms. Luong. Clerk will call the roll.
Mr. Drummy,
Yes.
Mr. Froyo,
Yes.
Mr. Gray,
Yes.
Mr. Ivina,
Yes.
Ms. Luong,
Yes.
Mr. McCarthy,
Yes.
Ms. Spatafora,
Yes.
Mr. Waldi,
Yes.
Mayor Christensen.
Yes, that carries unanimously. Now, for this evening's executive session, we will be proposing to enter for 4 reasons. The first one, Mass General Law, Chapter 38, Section 21A1, otherwise known as Purpose 1, to discuss an open meeting law complaint received June 8th, 2021, filed by Bruce Friedman against the members of the Malden Public Schools School Committee regarding the docket for the June 7th, 2021 Malden Public Schools School Committee meeting. Item number 2, Mass General Law, Chapter 38, Section 21A1, again, under Purpose 1, to discuss an open meeting law complaint received June 23rd, 2021, filed by Bruce Friedman against the members of the Malden Public Schools School Committee regarding review of executive session minutes. Item number 3, Mass General Law, Chapter 38, Section 21A7, to comply with or act under the authority of any general or special law or federal grant in aid requirements, otherwise known as Purpose 7. Open meeting law, Mass General Law, Chapter 38, Section 22F, G, review of executive session minutes from January 1st, 2017 to present. And finally, item number 4, Purpose 2, to conduct strategy sessions in preparation for negotiations with non-union personnel. Superintendent O'Terry Salary Review 2019-2020. Motion to enter into.
Motion.
Motion by Mr. Drummy, seconded by, that was Mr. Waldi. Clerk will call the roll.
Mr. Drummy,
Yes.
Mr. Froyo,
Yes.
Mr. Gray,
Yes.
Mr. Ivino,
Yes.
Ms. Luong,
Yes.
Mr. McCarthy,
Yes.
Ms. Pettifora,
Yes.
Mr. Waldi,
Yes.
Mayor Christensen.
Yes, that carries unanimously. We will now enter into executive session and we will be back out shortly thereafter. So I'd ask the members to leave, enter into executive session, then we'll come back.
See you on the other side.
Okay, school committee is back. We'll entertain any motions. Motion by Ms. Spatafora.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So I would like to make a motion that former Superintendent O'Terry receive a 2.5% increase for retroactive for the 2019-2020 school year. Unfortunately, this one slipped by us in a timely manner, so we're taking it up now.
Very good. Seconded by John, Mr. Foyo, rather. Any questions on that? Hearing none, clerk will call the roll.
Mr. Drummy,
Yes.
Mr. Froya,
Yes.
Mr. Gray,
Yes.
Mr. Iavina,
Yes.
Ms. Luong,
Yes.
Mr. McCarthy,
Yes.
Ms. Spatafora,
Yes.
Mr. Walde,
Yes.
Mayor Christensen.
Yes, that carries unanimously. We'll now entertain a motion to adjourn. Motion by Mr. Iavino, seconded by Ms. Spatafora. All those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? School committee is hereby adjourned.
Happy 4th.
Have a
Have a good
Happy 4th,
have a good
people.
summer, everybody.
Happy 4th. Good summer.
Have a good summer.